Okay, so I'm standing in the front doorway here, still making the video. There is a light over the roof of that house there, but it's not going to come out. And they're just playing, but I'm coming out here just outside my front door now. Look, I don't understand every physical detail of this matrix or this artificially controlled world. It's artificial in the sense that it is not natural, but also it is controlled. And, like today when I went, yesterday I was very, very, very suppressed, which was why I didn't have much force even behind my voice. Normally I'm loud, as you know. When I say loud, I tend to talk forcefully into the mobile as best I can. And I usually get a bit of excitement and momentum because, I think that it is the end of the days, and therefore, and also I feel very under threat. So, so there is a desperation that I wouldn't normally have. But yesterday I just was like giving up almost. I felt very depleted at all levels, physically, mentally, emotionally, and just like, it seemed rather hopeless. And you don't, when I say hopeless, that doesn't mean that I think that it's hopeless everywhere and for everyone. I just felt that personally. So that means in my particular area, it's all over, sort of thing. But today, although I don't feel that much better physically, sometimes even you get the anger going against the anti-life matrix and the anti-life people that are behind it and are covering up for it, that are masquerading around as real people when they are really anti-life psychopaths that are controlling this entire city, where I am anyway. They are covering for one another because they are very, they're not particularly strong on their own, but as a numbers collective, where the numbers are overwhelmingly against real humans that are not anti-life and that won't tolerate this anti-life reality if they became fully aware of it. My own impression and my own way of looking at it is that the main problem in these dying days is that the psychopathic psychos that are basically running this reality at a local level, they look like random, normal, average human beings, but they are undercover, like undercover cops, you could say, and they're basically, here comes the last Matrix plane, I think. Last one coming, is it coming? Last one? Oh, jeez. My body just aches just even holding the mobile over my head to try to get that plane in. But, where was I? Oh, see, that'd probably be the last plane of the night. They're not allowed to have any planes after 11, I don't think. Although they actually have, on occasion, they do have some, not many. They're not usually ones that go right over. But I think that was pointed out with a random conversation, but I'm not going to go into that. But they're not supposed to, so, it's, the Matrix makes its own rules, and by and large it tries to present it by and large has the presentation of following its own rules, shall we say. But either way, what I was going to say to make the basic point was that the whole thing really is that in these dying stages of the Matrix, or the last days of the Matrix, depending on, days is probably not the right word, and I know I'm sounding as though I know more than what I do, but essentially, if you look at it this way, this is the reality, how I see it anyway. The vast majority are psychos, okay? Anti-life psychos that pretend to be life human beings, because their mindset is they don't care for real life at all. They only care about their own survival. And their own survival really depends on being anti-life. They enjoy destruction. They do. I mean, like most humans that are left, that are real life human beings, are not particularly creative, not particularly constructive, I would say. I don't consider myself very constructive anyway. I mean, I've played with the Matrix most of my life, indirectly and unintentionally. Because every time you do something negative or something where it's destructive towards human beings, or even if you make the wrong decisions, I mean, you're playing for the Matrix, even though the Matrix will set up circumstances to where you will behave negatively. I think I've said this before in other videos or whatever, but it doesn't matter. But either way, the whole purpose, I think, is for the psychos of the Matrix, which are the vast majority, is for them to dominate and predominate in the reality, and basically to keep real life human beings, which are in a smaller number, in the dark. So therefore they don't combine, as the Matrix people have combined, in a collaborative anti-life effort against human beings, in suppressing, controlling, and eventually destroying them, really, because they don't like real life. It offends them. It's like the Matrix God, and they're reflective of that. Whether this is conscious or unconscious, or whether it is just that the Matrix has been able to bring, real humans even down to such a low level to where they allow possession. Now, possession is something that I understand but don't understand fully, because it's like in the movie The Innocents, the children openly allowed possession. They openly played with the dark spirits that possess their bodies. They allowed that, they enjoyed it, they entertained it, they were aware of it, they kept the secret of it. Is that the case with most Matrix people that are around me? Is that the case with the vast majority? Is that the case of everyone on this street? Is that the case of most people in Sydney? Is that the case of most people in other places around the world? or are they unaware that the possession by another spirit, dark entity, has entered and took over their whole self? Are they unaware of that? Do they think that that is them? Because they have, I don't know, because I think it could even be both. Because, but I don't know that, because you see, I can observe it, but I don't know, if the person is conscious that they are like, got another being inside their body, and they've, because it's probably like takeover too, because is it like two people inhabiting the one body, or two minds in the one body, or is it to where one eventually takes over and has full supremacy, like you tend to see in movies and things, because I'm not sure about that myself. But I'll try to hold this mobile gently without it going off. It keeps going off. It's very hard me using this mobile. It just goes off at the slightest touch. It shouldn't be like that, but it is. Because I think that if all real humans that are left, I can see those, what I consider to be artificial lights in my eyes. I think I can see them, because I'm looking at myself here, even though it's in the dark, because you can only see it in the dark. Is it going to come out on the video? I don't know, but they are not natural lights. See how they're round, funny shape with kind of dots? There's no reflection. There shouldn't be a reflection in that shape. So even though, yes, there would be lights reflecting in your eyes, they shouldn't be of that same funny shape, no matter. And also, I can see them regardless of whether it's dark or light. They're always in the eye. They are so that Matrix people can see what you see, I think. Or maybe so that the Matrix itself. Now, see, I'm not really sure about that. It's the most disturbing element for me of the Matrix, to realise not only the control, the physical and the emotional and mental control that takes place at a physical level, when you have when you're aware that Matrix people are not like yourself, just a random person getting around doing their own business, that they're all a combined collaborative effort, trying to keep you in the dark, trying to keep you at a low level mentally and emotionally, so that way you will not have enough enthusiasm or incentive or even reason to converse, shall we say, with other real humans. And you won't know, and you will only converse with psychos, because you won't know the difference. Here we have a late Matrix car on the street, and he's just going to back in and be silly. Where is he going? Okay, so he's going up the side, up the house next door to me, next door. That's the second car that's went up there in the space of about an hour, because I've been out here, I haven't been out here for an hour, but I have come out once or twice. I may or may not put out the videos because the mobile went off a few times. But basically most neighbours have come in that space of time. Is that a matrix? Or is that just random coincidence? Well, look. It cannot be coincidence, but if you think it is, then it is. All I'm saying is that it wouldn't have happened back a few years, and certainly not in the past. If you even, of a night time, you would, even though you're on the street, you just don't get, when you come out in a short space of time, most neighbours, the same neighbours coming in and out around you, within a few houses. It just wouldn't happen. And yet it does happen because we're in a matrix. Because these people don't just come in and out randomly. They're told when to. They're, because they know what they're doing, because they want to keep real human beings that are not aware of a matrix under their thumb, under their control, in these dying stages, so that they are unaware and will not combine with any other real human beings. Because if that happened, if that did happen, it would be game over for this matrix. Here we have another car coming in. Behind that car. It's hiding its lights behind the car. See how the light is shining all down the street? Notice how this light is shining all down the street from the headlights of that car. That is something you wouldn't have seen in the old time, and that is not necessary. Okay, so, like headlights should not shine all the way down the street. Oh, this is next door. This is very obliging. See, this is matrix or coincidence. In next door, okay? That is next door. See how we've had, in that short space of time, once again. And don't forget, it's getting late now too. We rarely see these people come in late next door there. But if they don't, I think they're coming out of the woodwork at this time too. Today I had a very unnatural, almost spooky sense that they were coming even more out of the woodwork. That's if that's even possible for me, because basically, if I go down the road, like away from here, it is all out of the woodwork. But on the street, here, not so much, because there's a limited number of people, limited number of houses, But if the matrix people think that it doesn't matter, that it's like that they'll then go into panic mode more or less, and they, particularly if they feel that more human beings are coming aware or awake to this matrix, I think, because that is a possibility. I know that I felt today that something was somehow different, that there was, I better fold up, because until I'm sure or clear on this, I don't think I'm going to put it into a video. But there was something very strange happening today. There seemed to be a difference in the traffic, shall we say, because all I do is observe the matrix. Because the rest of the time I'm just feeling my own emotions and my own suppression, and like yesterday, thinking that, it's all over sort of thing. So today, despite yesterday, I felt that there was something strange going on, that there was something different had maybe occurred, but just at a visual level. That's why I wanted to, I better fault, the dog's making a noise, but that's why I would prefer to, I better go and get the dog, prefer to get the video up to where I could show at a see, the dog's stopping that, but I better go and get him, because see, this is the matrix playing me, I know it, but I still have to play along. But to where I can physically show something and show the synchronicity, because that's all I can really do. I don't know anything else. I have to fold up.